witty, colorful, and provocative. For us and by us, celebrating our strength and our fire. Come hang out with us as we walk through our neighborhoods, even down our dark alleys. Because just around the corner, there's laughter, misplaced miracles, unspeakable pain, and yes, forgiveness. It's all happening Sunday, November 17th, 4 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood, 226 South Market Street. Last year, audiences raved. Best show in decades. An unforgettable night. Groundbreaking. Sweet Spot Live was thought-provoking and enlightening. Standing ovations begging for more. Please, more. It was a great night. So back by popular demand, it's Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis. Get your tickets right now at themiracleinglewood.com. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you in the Sweet Spot. You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Rob Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I cut my teeth on wedding rings in the movies, and I'm not proud of my address. In a torn up town, no postcode envy, but every song's like gold teeth, gray goose dripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. We're driving Cadillacs in our dreams, but everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, islands, tigers on a gold leash. We don't care. We aren't caught up in your love affair, and we'll never be royal.
You were listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. My name is Robin Ayers, and I am your host of this show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. on your ride home. This is something I would play on my ride home. I haven't heard this song in a very, very long time. Royals by Lorde. Happy birthday to Lorde. Wow. Now, I have to admit, this is probably the one and only song of hers that I really loved and knew. I don't know, but I think she was a pretty big deal, maybe at some point, but I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know, but this song was a hit, definitely a hit. Well, hello to you, Raw Squad. I see you guys already coming on up into our YouTube channel. Good to see you. Good to see you. It is Friday Eve, y'all. Get excited. It is Friday Eve. We are, okay, Andy, go ahead. Take a sip of water, Andy. Take a sip of water. It's fine. Okay. There it is. It's late. He's late, but you know, I'm just playing, Andy. Yeah, I'm excited to get to the weekend. Just to give you a heads up, I will not be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. However, I will be doing a Zoom. So I'll be here, but I'll be on Zoom. So, yeah, just giving you guys a heads up for next week. Let's get into, you know what? Let's, before we get into updates, I want to get our contributor on the line. It's been a little minute since she's been on with us, but I'm happy to have her on. Katrina Robinson, hello to you. Katrina.
Hey there, how are you, Robin?
I am wonderful. You have been busy, really, really busy with election conversations and commentary and all kinds of things. How are you? How are you? Just got to check in with you.
Look, I'm depleted. And when I tell you,
yeah.
Oh, it's almost like going to work without a paycheck.
Oh, when you put it like that, Katrina.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, we had a conversation, an entire conversation yesterday on, you know, post-election day and just checking in with everybody to see how everyone is feeling. I hear what you're saying, but in other words, let me know, just to kind of get your temperature here. What are you feeling hopeful, even despite who has been elected? Are you still feeling hopeful? Like, you know what? It doesn't have to be all bad. We'll be okay. Are you feeling hopeless, or are you kind of ambivalent about what's going on right now?
Well, the only thing that saves me, Robin, is I have unshakable faith. So I'm not really worried about who thinks they control this country. Because I know whose hands my fate is in. But other than that, I'm not very hopeful for this presidency or this administration to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk all night about. I've been talking all night about it. But I'm not very hopeful that anything is going to be any different than what we have been hearing. So. Yeah.
Okay. But I like what you said. I stand on that too. I have unshakable faith. No matter, I keep saying, no matter who's in office, Jesus is on the throne. I keep saying that because it's very true. It's how I feel about it. Definitely how I feel about it. But I'm glad to get your take on it. And thank you for all that you did do regarding the election and, all the work that you put in, even without a paycheck. We appreciate you very, very much for everything. I want to go over some topics just before we get into the actual show. I have a question for you, Katrina, and maybe you guys over in YouTube can answer this as well. Diddy, as we know, is currently behind his prison bars, but he is trying to sell his LA home. We know he's going to have a lot of financial woes. He's currently having financial woes with all the lawsuits going on. He might have to pay up out of pocket for a lot of things, not just, these alleged victims, but even his own attorneys. So he's trying to sell his house in LA, and we're being told that he's having a problem selling it because people are reportedly creeped out by it. If you had the means, would you be interested in purchasing Diddy's home, or do you think that's going to have people are going to have a tough time buying that property?
Oh, girl, real estate is real estate.
Come on now. I mean, it's true, but you know how some people are like, okay, someone, was there was a tragedy in that home or something like that. People are weirded out by certain things. And when you think about the freak-offs, we don't know where the freak-offs happen, Katrina. So people are thinking about that.
It ain't enough sage or blessed oil in the world to get rid of all them soul ties.
Okay.
I get it. But somebody will buy that home, maybe at a deeply discounted asking price.
There it is.
Somebody will buy it.
There it is. Okay. I like that you said that because that is an option. They will probably have to deeply discount that thing in order for it to go. Speaking of Diddy, his son, Christian King Combs, he said recently that he is taking over his father's social media accounts. And some people are calling him tone deaf. Like, he says that he's going to be posting all the good things his dad has done. All the good things. I mean, it's just, one of his sons, Quincy, recently announced that he was putting out the documentary following their family. People didn't think that was a good idea. Now, King Combs, his other son, is saying, I'm taking over my pop's social media and I'm going to put all these good things. Do you think that's a good idea, or should they all just lay low right now?
I think given the sensitivity of things, I think that this is a bad idea all around. It's hard. Yeah. I know how hard it is to stay silent while things are happening in the public, and the media is spinning all these stories, and every day it's a different, act that he's committed. I know it's hard, and it's got to be even harder, when you're the son of what you thought was going to be a legacy, right? Mm-hmm. So I've seen Christian posting the videos, and everybody's like, "Sir, do you not understand what is happening today?" And you posted that video. Baby, I get it. You miss your father. You want him to be free of this, but it's just not at the time.
I think it might be
through the process. Yeah, he's got to go through the process because you don't want to put anything out there that could be potentially incriminating.
That's true.
Like him being a kid at the time that all these things were, the hits. He doesn't really understand what implications it could have if there's something that he puts out there that, turns on a light bulb for somebody somewhere.
There you go. It's a good point. It's a good point. Especially, now we're seeing the just how powerful the public can be when it comes to any legal case. Think about the Menendez brothers and how that started turning up, and people started to look further into their case once it became a trending topic on TikTok. Like everybody started talking about it, but that's how influential it could be. So I agree with you there. Bronny James is set to go. He's going to make his way to the G League. Apparently, his debut is going to be this weekend. But what I understand is that the organization is going to be kind of shuffling him back and forth. I don't know, Andy, you might know. Has this ever happened before? Have we seen anything like this?
Yes, always.
No.
What are you talking about? Okay, so not going from the NBA to from the team to the G League, but I'm just saying the back and forth thing?
Yeah, it's a two-way contract.
Okay.
So, you're signed, obviously, by the organization and the G League affiliate. So it's like you're part of the Lakers, but you're also part of that G League squad. And that's more so, for development. And if they feel that, you're improving or whatnot, they'll have you come and actually play on a Lakers game or whatnot. So this has been going on forever. This isn't anything new.
This ain't nepotism. He's like, fall back. We've seen it before. Okay. Well, fair enough. I know everybody was telling him to go on and get on there over there to that G League. But develop. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I think it's a good look for him. And I think everybody agrees with that.
He needs it 100%, but I will give him kudos on his poise. Every time he's on the court, he doesn't look rattled. He doesn't look scared or anything like that.
Okay.
But he does need further development.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair. Katrina, speaking of nepotism, and not nepotism, Andy says this wasn't. But Samuel L. Jackson is saying that Denzel Washington's sons, who they're all of his children are somehow involved in the industry. There's a movie, I don't know if you've seen it or heard of it, The Piano Lesson, based on August Wilson's Pulitzer Prize winning play. I haven't seen it, but it was co-written by and directed by one of Denzel Washington's sons, Malcolm, and it's starring his other son, John David Washington. But Samuel L. Jackson, who's really good friends of the whole Washington family, he says that his sons are not they're not nepo babies, okay? He said they worked really hard to get where they are. Do you believe that? Do you believe to this degree? By the way, Denzel Washington is married to Pauletta Washington, who's also an actress, a working actress. Do you believe that there is to that extent when you have parents who are uber famous with that type of last name? Do you believe that there is no nepotism involved concerning, his two sons?
That's hard to say. I will say this: his sons are very talented. And so it's one thing for, it to be suspected to be nepotism because the person is not talented and they just happen to end up in a place. Yeah. But his kids are talented. I mean, it's no different than Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez back in the day. It's the same thing. I mean, if they're talented, they're talented. There's no way around it. I can't help who my daddy or my mom is.
I agree with you on that. Well, those are our updates. Andy, let's go ahead and get into the Raw Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
All right, y'all. Dr. Umar Johnson is back at it again. I cannot believe the words that have come out of his mouth. Post-election, he is basically shaming these people for crying over the loss of Kamala Harris's election. He's saying that he, though, is the new leader of Black America. These are his words. He is the new leader of Black America. Now, was he being facetious? We don't know. I'm going to let you hear the clip yourself. I'm going to let you hear him talk about all the people who are crying, all the people who had something to say about Kamala Harris. And he is questioning, why aren't we crying over other things, such as all the money that was put behind this, such as, all kinds of other issues that do cause us harm directly. He's saying, listen, why are we making a big deal out of this? But we are going to let you play that. We're going to let you listen to that clip on the other side. We also are going to try to get to that Halle Bailey conversation that we tried to get to yesterday about equal parental rights. There's an update about this, but I think it's an interesting conversation in that she brings up postpartum, her going through severe postpartum, as a matter of fact, and all the things that kind of come along with that. We're going to get started with our contributor, Katrina Robinson. On the other side, you are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on The Raw Report.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh boy, it is really scary looking at all the things happening on social media post-election. I know that you've seen it, Katrina. You really, again, I feel like you've been at the forefront of all of this, and we are just continuing to see different things. I actually posted something on social media today. There's a gentleman who is, I don't even call him a gentleman, as a matter of fact, because what he's doing is not that. There's a guy, this white man, wearing a MAGA hat, and he is in the face directly 2 inches, probably 2-3 inches away from this black woman, and he is yelling at her with all his might, and she's just standing there. She's not saying a word. She is, just standing there as he is just yelling in her face and being so aggressive. And so it begins. We're starting to see part of the concern that women have, with this election, part of the concern that especially black women, black people, that we have, with Trump being elected. But that's what it is. That's unfortunately nothing we could do about that. But Dr. Umar has now spoken about Kamala Harris and the loss that we all feel, a lot of us deeply feel. And he had a lot to say. Katrina, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this. Let's go ahead and play it for everybody else so you guys can hear exactly what he says. It's a little lengthy, but also remember at the end of this clip, he says himself that he is the new leader of Black America. Let's take a listen and see what you think.
I'm having a little bit of a problem with the fact that y'all crying over Kamala Harris, but y'all not crying over that $30 million that the Divine Nine gave her in one night to pay for campaign ads and commercials. If you're going to cry, don't cry because a white racist political party lost the election. You should be crying because the Black Greeks gave Kamala $30 million in one night that the black community can never get back. That the black community can never get back. That the black community can never get back. Why don't you cry about the $30 billion black women in particular, but black men as well, spend on beauty and hair products? Why don't we cry about all these black girls who are being sexually trafficked in this country? Why aren't we crying about all the homeless black women with children living on the street? Why aren't we crying about all the young black men who are losing their lives to senseless violence? Are we crying like this for these lynching victims? Are we crying like this for these police genocide victims? But you crying for Kamala Harris? But you not crying for the $30 million the Divine Nine gave her to pay for useless commercials and ads? The money from which she's never getting back. Can we please stop the nonsense? Can we please get organized? Black queens forever, snow bunnies never, Pan-Africanism a perish. I'm the new leader of Black America. You either with me or you against me. The agenda is coming soon. 2025, Team Pan-African, King Kong consciousness. You either with us or you against us.
Oh my! It was just a lot. It's a lot. You either with us or you against us. This is what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying. But I will say this. We talk a whole lot of mess about Dr. Umar. I know we do on this show. We talk about him, or we talk, about some of the things that he says. But this man has a large following and a lot of people who want to see what he has to say. And the concern, I feel, is that if he does, he says the agenda is coming in 2025. If he does sort of put something together where it's making a little bit of sense, do you feel like this is a viable option for Black America? Because, Katrina, we've talked about this for a long time. Who is the one? I mean, we were trying to make Kamala Harris the one, but who is the one who is going to take lead? It's hard to say everybody just come together when you don't have an actual leader. Is he a viable option?
Hell no.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Well, that came out before I knew it, honey. Listen, the man got 1 million followers. That is not enough to take over the free world for Black people, okay? Every time I hear Dr. Umar, and Doctor with a question mark, Umar Johnson talk, I think about Dana Wayans on In Living Color. Remember he was in jail cell, he was like 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish. Blue fish. That's what he sounds like to me. Like he's making no sense. Because, sir, what do you mean, why are we not crying? That is why we're crying, because we lost all hope in resolving these issues by electing this fool who you obviously support. Make it make sense. And where's the $5 million you've been raising for 10 years for this school that's never been erected? Let's talk. Are we crying about that? I mean, the best thing Umar Johnson has ever done was call out Kevin Samuels on his bull. But other than that, he has never said anything that made any type of sense to me. I think people like to follow him because he's entertaining and he says the most outlandish things. And sometimes he does say things that we're thinking, but then he messes it up.
He messes it up.
Yeah. So I don't think he has the following that he thinks he has.
Okay, I hear you. I hear all of that. And just to be clear, I am not a Dr. Umar Johnson follower. I think a lot of his rhetoric is ridiculous. I think that he is it seems like he tries to say provocative things for the sake of controversy, right? And so but it wins. It wins. I mean, we on here talking about him, kind of often because at the end of the day, even though I might not agree with what he says, I do think it allows for good conversation sometimes. So I'm not mad at that, right? But I'm not one of those people. I'm not a Dr. Umar follower. But again, he might mix. They say sometimes you can look real good if you mix really expensive things like one or two expensive things with a lot of other mess, right? Like a lot of really cheap, like say you're getting dressed. Yeah, that's the key to high and low. Wear something that you might wear some jewelry that's expensive, but everything else is from, Forever 21 or Zara or something. You get what I'm saying? That is Dr. Umar to me. Dr. Umar is high and lows. He might say something that grabs you. He might throw in a little jewel, something that you really want to pay attention to, but the rest of it is Forever 21 and Fashion Nova. By the way, I love Fashion Nova, so let me not really hate. I'm just saying, like, you get the expensive and the not so expensive with him. That's sort of where Go ahead.
No, I get it. Yeah. No, I was saying he's high in intelligence and just low in good sense. That's all. He doesn't really use his platform in a way that is authentic to me. I think he does say things for shock value because he knows that that's what pays him. He has to maintain a following. He has to keep people engaged, and he has to keep them talking. That's how he ended up on this show tonight, by saying something as outlandish as he did.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's the jewels and even the other things that he says that we just pull away again for good conversation, which, by the way, he said in this clip. Now, I don't think he is the new leader of America. However, I will say he makes a good point in that why aren't we crying over all these other things? I want to talk to you about that a little bit more. If there is some sense that he is making. I don't agree with him, by the way, about why we're crying over the millions that Kamala Harris was her campaign was donated in one night, and all the money that they received. I'm not mad at that, but he's making other points that I want to discuss. We're going to get to that. We also will get to Fahima, who is on the line with us. Right now, though, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, everybody. My name is Richard Turrentine, and I'm rocking with Robin on The Raw Report.
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Following his victory in the presidential election, Donald Trump is putting together a transition team before Inauguration Day on January 20th. Testimony continues in the trial of a Marine veteran charged with putting a homeless black man in a deadly chokehold in a New York City subway. Earlier in the week, the jury saw videos from bystanders of the encounter that played out last year. Daniel Penny's defense team argues that he took action because Jordan Neely was threatening subway riders. The city of Raleigh is partnering with a pair of HBCUs to help them overcome their financial challenges. Council members voted to collaborate with Shaw and St. Augustine's universities as they both face monetary hardships. And New York City is honoring those who have served our country ahead of Veterans Day on Monday. Black Mayor Eric Adams was among those at the annual breakfast reception celebrating Veterans Day in Manhattan. Officials honored Gold Star families who lost loved ones in combat service. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
In downtown LA, traffic is an absolute mess with a number of accidents, including these. On the 10 eastbound at Santa Fe Avenue, an accident in the right lane. Not far away on the 10 westbound at Alameda, the off-ramp, there's a crash. Also an accident on the 10 westbound at Vermont. That's in the middle lane. That's a couple of vehicles there. Traffic is jammed on the 5, the 101, the 10, and the 110.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details while supplies last.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are planning to make Mookie Betts a permanent infielder next season. The 32-year-old Betts split time as shortstop and right field during the 2024 season. Betts, the only African-American player on the Dodgers roster, will likely be moved to second base. The Dodgers have a 3-man rotation at shortstop with Gavin Lux, Tommy Edman, and Miguel Rojas. Doug Williams is being considered for the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the class of 2025. Williams is the first black quarterback to play in a Super Bowl. He led the Washington Redskins to a 42-10 win over Denver in Super Bowl 22 in San Diego in 1988. Williams is also the first black quarterback to be selected in the first round of the NFL Draft. Williams was a first-round pick of Tampa Bay in 1979. Magic Johnson's NFL team, the Washington Commanders, are 7-2 for the first time since 1996. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Beloved Entertainment and the Miracle Theater Foundation presents Sweet Spot Live with KBLA's own Angelique Francis, Sunday, November 17th. Angelique is live on stage featuring storytellers from the community, colorful and provocative, for us and by us, celebrating our strength and our fire. Come hang out with us as we walk through our neighborhoods, even down our dark alleys, because just around the corner, there's laughter, misplaced miracles, unspeakable pain, and yes, forgiveness. It's all happening Sunday, November 17th, 4 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood, 226 South Market Street. Last year, audiences raved. Best show in decades. An unforgettable night. Groundbreaking. Sweet Spot Live was thought-provoking and enlightening, standing ovations begging for more. Please, more. It was a great night. So back by popular demand, it's Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis. Get your tickets right now at themiracleinglewood.com. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you in the sweet spot.
Are you coughing a lot, especially at night? Are you often short of breath? Are you using your rescue inhaler often? These could be signs that your asthma is not under control. To keep your asthma in check and help prevent an asthma attack, ask your healthcare provider for an asthma action plan. This is a personalized plan you create with your doctor that shows you what to do and what medicines to help control your asthma and to use when you're having a hard time breathing or when you're having an asthma attack. Please don't wait until you're having an asthma attack. Do something about it now. Schedule a visit with your healthcare provider today to make that action plan and take control of your asthma. For more tips and resources on the management of asthma, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You could earn one for free in as few as 5 months, online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach, plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Report on KBLA Talk 1580. So glad you can join us for this conversation today. We are on the line with Katrina Robinson, but I do want to get to this phone call before we continue the show from Fahima. Hello to you, Fahima.
Hey, Robin, and greetings to your contributor there. I agree with her. Umar Johnson is good for content. And the fact of the matter is, he's the only one that's been complaining about the money that was donated. I haven't heard anyone that donated to Kamala Harris's campaign that's been complaining, including myself. I donated as well. I was on the line with the 144,000 women that first night as well, and I haven't been sitting here bemoaning that I donated. He's just upset that he didn't get any of the Divine Nine money, and I wouldn't follow him if he was directing traffic. And the last point I wanted to make is that it was it was the Netflix movie Monster that caused the probe into the Melendez brothers case, not TikTok. The movie Monster brought up some new evidence, and that's why the district attorney or attorney general was looking into the case. It wasn't TikTok. It was new evidence in the movie. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Fahima, for the phone call. Katrina, your thoughts? Your thoughts? I mean,
look,
I hear that point. Is Dr. Umar the only one talking about this money?
I mean, he's the only one I've heard talking about it. People understand that you have to donate to political campaigns, and there has to be a loser in every election.
Yeah.
That is a risk that you take. But your donation is your show of support and your show of belief in the candidate. It has nothing to do with a payoff for you. And so people understand when they give you money, they give you money for you to use to reach your voters, to be able to canvass, to be able to run commercials, to be able to buy billboards. That's what campaign donations are for. Just like Donald Trump's people, they contributed to his campaign the last time he lost. And when he did lose, they got mad and stormed the Capitol. That was on them. But when it's a political campaign, people understand I'm going to contribute to this candidate to help them run the campaign, not to help to make sure that they win. I want them to win, but if they don't, then that was my donation. God bless you.
Yeah, good point. Andy?
I know I'm not anybody, you know what I'm saying, important or anything like that.
You are very important.
But I will say that, you know, I did have an issue with the funds that she was receiving. I understand the whole political system and, you know, those who are running need campaign money. I get that. But I just found it interesting. Everything that Dr. Umar kind of said in that clip is what I was thinking, like the fact that folks can organize that deep and like organize $1 million something for a campaign. I feel like people can do that for other things. You know what I'm saying? You want to put that to school? Do that. You know, you want to help fix the roads? I feel like we could do that. But we're not doing that. We only do this every 4 years. I understand Kamala Harris, you know what I'm saying, a woman, HBCU, black woman or whatnot. There was a lot of support in that regard. But I do find it interesting, like, damn, some of that money, the fact that folks organize that quick and that fast just for a campaign, we could do that for other things that are truly affecting us.
Katrina?
I mean, can I organize a Zoom call so we all can get together, put money together so we can maybe pay off, homegirl student loans or something like that? I'm just saying. We got a 3 trillion spending power or something like that. Come on now.
Can I just say this? This is
go ahead.
You're making a good point, Andy. I hear the point. It was just, I feel that America, especially black men and women who clearly showed up for Kamala Harris during this election, I feel like we felt it was a dire need to get her in office. No, Andy, listen to me real quick. In opposition to Trump, I felt like it was a dire need. So,
agreed.
Yeah, so I think that was, and then keep in mind, when she started this election, when that was announced, she didn't have a lot of time. So I felt like everyone needed to do their part. They needed to commit that much money to this campaign because we weren't working with a whole lot of time, the same amount of time that he was working with. So I felt like it was needed.
Well, look, she lost. Now it's time to organize right now. That same money that we put towards her campaign, we put that money towards the community to make things pop because
we already spent that money, Andy. We already spent
It's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. It's not coming back.
That money gone.
Come on now, that hurts.
Yeah. Okay, but he's making a point. To Dr. Umar's point, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we galvanizing around all these other issues? Why, when we know, are we just comfortable? Do we not have a problem with it? Are we so spread out and everyone is just kind of doing their own thing? This goes to the point that I was making about Ray J. At what point do we get out of our own bubble and say, it's not just about, because do you know, Katrina, how many times I've had that conversation where people are like, well, listen, as long as me and mine are good. That is literally the narrative that especially black people live with. Now, these days, back in the day, it was about the community. back in the day, everybody wanted to look out for their neighbor in their community. It's not like that anymore. Everybody is just like, well, as long as me and mine are good, then we're straight. I'm straight. I don't need to do anything outside of my house. I don't need to do anything for the rest of my community. So it's a good point.
Yeah, and I think it goes to the controversial statement that I've made in the past. I believe that desegregation was one of the worst things that happened to the Black community.
Right.
Because we don't depend on each other for anything. We don't have to. Yeah. There's too much opportunity. There's too much upward mobility to where we feel like, well, if we made it, you should have made it too, because we all had the same opportunity, rather than us saying, hey, we all got to make it so that our community can be better as a whole. That's just not the sentiment or the mentality anymore. And as far as us organizing to raise money for causes within our community, I think, the problem has been so overwhelming and so pervasive that people have accepted it to be what the norm is going to be for the rest of their life. And who are they to feel like they can do anything about it? And is it even practical to think that we can do anything about it, given the way that the systems are stacked against us? I think that's most people's thought process. And so that's why, to your point, Robin, they thought it was a dire need to get a Black woman in office, because how are we going to fix it ourselves? We don't have a leader. And so it would potentially be our leader. People complained about Obama saying that he did nothing for the Black community, but what they don't understand is that the things that happen in the executive office, they do directly affect the Black community. Whether it doesn't, expressly state this is for the Black community. Okay, so like last week she was saying she was going to legalize recreational marijuana. People thought that was her pandering to the Black community. But think about your cousin who's locked up on marijuana charges. Think about your friend who smokes weed every day, who wants to be in the cannabis industry. Like, there are things that can happen on that level that do actually affect the Black community, but we don't really think that far. We only see what's in front of us.
You just laid that whole thing out. I'm surprised right now at this poll. I mean, 64% of you do say that you don't think that he could be, Dr. Umar could be the leader of Black America, but 36% of you right now do believe that. And the question is, this is not a new question. Him saying this isn't new. We used to talk about Shaun King. Shaun King was, and people questioned his Blackness, right? Everybody has these questions, but Shaun King was sort of in the forefront. Shaun King took on a lot of issues. He's been booted off of social media, by the way. He's been booted off. He's still around. He still has podcasts and books and things like that. But people now are asking about Charlemagne the God. They're asking about Tamika Mallory, like different things like that, different people like that. But, I think it's kind of fair to say that Dr. Umar could be one of those people who some would consider they will put his name in the hat. Dr. Umar is a certified school psychologist. He's a doctor of clinical psychology, author, Pan-Africanist, special education consultant. He's supposed to be working on a school. A lot of people clown him for not doing that. Didn't
he have to go before the board of psychology for pretending to be a psychologist?
Okay, well, there's that on that. Andy, did you want to jump in real quick? Okay, let's go ahead and get to this phone call from our very own Nick Hamilton of Nightcast Media. Hey to you, Nick Hamilton.
Hey, good afternoon. What's going on?
We're trying to figure this thing out. I don't know. Dr. Umar has now called himself the new leader of Black America, and we're trying to figure out if we agree with that or not. I know you're going to call Jermaine. Jermaine.
Listen, the problem is, whether you following Jermaine, whether you following Kamala, the problem is everybody's looking for a savior instead of looking for the savior in the mirror. Ooh. You need to be a leader of thyself. And that's part of the problem. And to Andy's point, I think you and Andy were talking about, we need to, what happens to the monies that people gathered for Kamala's campaign. They were so eager to do that, but they're not as eager to do it for their own neighborhood, because we don't have a community, because that's a whole other conversation in itself. But to bring it to the Black race is because people don't have a sense of urgency. They don't see the sense of urgency. You have to be rallied for a particular subject matter or a particular cause for people to wake up, because these big back, knuckle dragging Negroes ain't going to do a damn thing. All they're going to do is sit around, bellyache, complain, but they won't do anything to better the opportunity. Now, again, just because another person is in office that you may or may not have voted for, you still have to have an opportunity to put yourself in contention.
You're breaking up a little bit, Nick.
Can you hear me now?
We got you, yeah.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is you still, regardless of who's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you still have to look at what's going on around you locally and statewide, and you still have to put yourself in contention to be able to be economically feasible, whether that means to create a business, whether that means create a partnership where you gather all of your resources with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different people, and you guys collectively come up with something, whether that's a project, whether that's a nonprofit, whether that's a business or an organization. You still have to do stuff that's going to be able to make sure that you eat. Because at the end of the day, regardless of who's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you still have to eat. And that is the point. People can bellyache and be upset all they want. But at the end of the day, reality still sets in. Life still goes on. And the thing about it is we're still going to be at the bottom of the pudding cup because the reason why these migrants have come into this country is to replace us because the numbers, the political asylum, the opportunity for them to vote, even though they're not U.S.-born citizens, was all in place to replace us as black folks and increase the numbers so that we can be at the bottom of the barrel and don't get the benefits that we're supposed to get as American citizens. That's the whole point. If people don't see that, then you'll continue to be blind, deaf, and dumb, and continue to be suffer and lack. Because you don't get the things that you want. You just sit on the sideline and complain, but you won't do anything to be proactive and put pressure on those who are in front of you, like your council people, like your mayors, like your school board educators and people like that directly affect you. You won't put pressure on that, but you'll bellyache for a week about something that doesn't necessarily pertain to you. And that's the problem I've been having with people. Yeah. It's like, okay, come on, man, let's keep it moving. We still got to live. We still got to move.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You are right about this, Nick. But before you go on, I want to keep you on the line. And Katrina, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. But my question that I'll pose right now that we'll get to on the other side is, it sounds amazing. It sounds great. And it's very true. What you're saying is true. We should all look within and say, what can I do, right? That I have the power. We should all know that. But no one does anything about that. People still need to feel like they have a leader to take charge and to galvanize. Even that's the power that we do have. The power is once you do catch the revelation, once you do say, okay, now we have something to follow, someone who's going to get us together. Yeah, I'm down with it. We're going to bring all of our people. I'll tell the next person. But people don't want to be the leader. They want to follow a leader. And we've always had that. We've always had someone who was sort of leading the charge. I want to get both of your thoughts on that on the other side. We will continue this conversation. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Denzel Whitaker, and I'm on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. The Equinox EV and all-new Equinox, America's best compact SUV for new vehicle quality by J.D. Power, offer both confidence and style to see you through the holiday season. It's easy to see why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Award based on 2024 models for J.D. Power 2024 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information. Visit jdpower.com/awards. Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Silverado, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment is 22.2%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
An official message from Medicare. Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money. Review all your options at Medicare.gov.
Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Medicare open enrollment is here, and it's a time you can make changes to your health coverage. Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
We are having this great conversation on the phone with our contributors, Katrina Robinson, as well as Nick Hamilton, who just stepped into the building as well. Nick Hamilton, you just went on a rather impressive run, and I agree with what you're saying. I'm just trying to call a thing a thing. And what I mean is, it sounds so good, but when you talk about galvanizing and people having the power to do things within themselves first, and knowing that, I think a lot of people don't know that they have the power that they actually do. So that's why we tend to rely on, people think that they need this leader. And I hear what you're saying, because it's true, we do have the power. But we have the power in numbers, and usually to get the numbers, you need someone at the forefront. We've always seen it. We've always seen the Dr. Martin Luther Kings, and we've always seen we could go down the list of Black leaders, but in modern day, that's why we're trying to break it down. Who is our modern day leader? That's why Dr. Umar had his name in the hat. Charlemagne, and I was mentioning Tamika Mallory and Sean King and different people like that. Modern day, and to a certain degree they have led the charge. Whether you jump on board and agree with it or not, you can't disagree with numbers. So that's what I'm saying. Don't you still feel as though there still needs to be somebody, a leader? Let me jump to, okay, so I have your answer. No. Katrina, let me jump to you really quickly on your thoughts on what Nick was just bringing up, because he does bring up a good point.
I mean, I get what you're saying as far as there needing to be a centralized, like a nucleus of things. I don't think it's a person, though. I think it's an actual movement, an established movement that is targeted in the agenda and the actions, the plan, the goals. Everything is outlined. But I don't think there's one particular person, especially not any of the people that you name, Robin, who are equipped.
I'm not calling them the leaders, by the way. I am not calling them the leaders. What I'm saying, when we were dealing with Breonna Taylor and all of our issues that we had there, Tamika Mallory, her and other people sort of led the way, and people they said, listen, we're going to be in this city at this time, show up. And people showed up. That's what I'm talking about. Not on a national level like that, but that's mainly what I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily pinning them as the leaders.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying you have to be a leader in front of and off of camera. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
We don't need a leader that just shows up when the cameras come. We need someone who can strategize, someone who has influence, someone who has integrity, and someone who can kind of die to themselves for a cause that is greater than themselves. And I don't think that really exists at this time.
That's fair.
And also, too, to me, if you appoint a leader of something, I think I think it's a scapegoat of sorts. So it takes the onus off of each individual. It's like, okay, they're handling it. I'll just show up when they call me. When really the work has to be done in so many micro silos around the world.
Dom Money on YouTube says, besides the school, I think maybe you're talking about Dr. Umar's school that has not been built yet. Besides the school, what is the criteria to be the leader for Black America? Part of it, I think, is what you just said, Katrina, being a leader behind and in front of the camera, but mainly probably behind and not even worried about the cameras. Nick Hamilton, I'm gonna go back to you. We have less than a couple minutes left. I'm gonna give you the final point though, Nick.
Well, I will say to your point earlier, it's not that people don't know, they choose not to know. It's a lot of dumb people with smartphones these days that don't utilize them for what they're for. Yeah. And that's part of the problem. You have to look within self. I think people try to look for a leader like a crutch, like they look for a religion to be a crutch in their lives. I think when you look at overall, you have to know, like the Katrina said, you got to be a part of a movement behind the scenes instead of stop being in front of the camera all the time. Mm-hmm. You have to be about the people and not about yourself. And that's when you mentioned Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Black Panther Party for self-defense, and so many others. They were about behind the scenes. They just so happened to be in front of it because people polarized them to be in front, but they weren't trying to be in front. Yeah. These new so-called people, they trying to get clout. All of them have failed. Yeah. Every single last one of them are no longer leaders, and they failed because they were clout chasers. They weren't leaders, and we didn't see it.
There you have it. That's that on that. I feel like this needs another conversation. Perhaps we bring it forward tomorrow. Nick Hamilton, I thank you so much for joining the conversation tonight. As always, he is of Nightcast Media. Katrina Robinson, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for the great conversation, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Raw Squad, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for the engagement. Make sure you like and share this video. Bring somebody along with you for tomorrow's conversation. My name is Robin Ayers. And remember today and every day forward to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. President Biden is addressing the nation after Donald Trump won the presidential election. Speaking from the White House, Biden said he's focused on respecting the peaceful transfer of power. The president said he called Trump and congratulated him on his victory. A judge is rejecting the appeal of a man convicted nearly 2 years after he went to trial for murdering rapper Nipsey Hussle. A 3-justice panel from an appeals court in California issued a decision that upholds the judge's previous ruling. Democratic Representative Maxine Waters has won